Hello, everyone. This is Yuko Tomizuka. I'm a global real estate investment advisor with 30 years of experience, and I analyzed so far 20,000 properties. Today, I'd like to speak something about the Japanese business philosophy, which means the ultimate pricing tips released by the legendary entrepreneur. In Japan, under new normal, like as we are now, people may be allowed to have multiple jobs, and some use blog, YouTube, and SNS to sell their products and services. Today, I'd like to demonstrate tips for such people, which means the ultimate pricing tips, hints, released by the recent entrepreneur. I summarized it from the story of Mr. Inamori, the honorary chairman of Kyocera, and he also established a business of AU, one of the telecommunication giants in Japan, and he recovered Japan Airlines from its bankruptcy. I respect him a lot as legendary entrepreneur. The point he made are following six. Number one, understanding the fundamental principle, which means pricing is the core of the management. Number two, discarding the market standard, so-called common sense. Number three, bearing in mind that the customer is always true, always right. Number four, conducting the PDCA cycle on daily basis. Number five, breaking down each expense into as precise as possible. Number six, conversing with figures appearing on the financial statement. So let me explain one by one. The first point is understanding the rule. Fundamental. The pricing is the management itself. First and foremost, this is very important. Anyone can sell your product if the price is cheap, but this doesn't make any sense from the management point of view. We should deliver the maximum price that customers are willing to pay. If the actual price is lower than that, you can take as many orders as you want, but the price is more than that, no order is expected. You must always pick up that threshold as a price for your product. So, as a management, you must be sensitive enough to feel and perceive where the threshold is. Mr. Inamori says like that. However, this is not easy to detect that point. What I would like to recommend is learning Aikido for you to get prepared for pricing. I have been doing Aikido for the past 10 years, and I'm in the second dan, black belt. Especially, I think Mr. Yamaguchi, Professor Yamaguchi, the Okinawa Aikikai, the head, is the best in the world. You will learn how to figure out this point through Aikido. When you get well focused on your counterpart and figure out the point, which means the weaknesses. There's a technique called Nikyo, like this. This cannot be conducted without knowing your counterpart's weaknesses. Mr. Yamaguchi is currently 76 years old, however, he is better than anyone else, including younger students. As soon as Yamaguchi sensei took my hand like this point was obviously found, so I could understand the essence of detecting the weakness. Recently, we sent a quotation to a client who is very important to us. As for the fee, I intend to aim for the highest point in the range where the client is willing to point us. This worked well, and without any discount negotiation, we may be able to have the contract. What we should learn in Aikido practice is reading your counterpart. So next one is discarding the market scenario, market standard, or so-called common sense. Most of management feel comfortable with the net profit figure, which has been considered as the standard in the industry. For instance, manufacturing below 5% net profit has been considered as normal. If we define our profit ratio, the actual result would never exceed that standardized figure. Therefore, Mr. Inamori said we should forget about the market standard figures when it comes to the performance analysis. Number three, bearing in mind that the customer is always right, always true. Some top management try to determine the sales price by accumulating the cost for them to produce the product or services. But this is not the right approach. The price will be determined under the market read by customers. Once you've got the sales price, you should make this business profitable by reducing the expense. Number 4, conducting the PDCA cycle daily basis. This is, in other words, means capturing your daily balance by checking your accounting result. In Kyocera, yesterday's result is always available at the noon in the next day today, which means less than one day, Kyocera accounting department delivered the result to the management. The system is crucial for the top management to make the right and proper decision in a daily management practice. Examining the result yesterday, making the improvement, and checking the result in the next day, and analyzing the next improvement. The improvements effect. And then you can conduct different improvements, some other traders, or for the top management to deliver the best PDCA cycle. Quick response system is significantly important. Number 5, break down each expense item as precise as possible under the determined prices. For the company to be profitable, all the employees have to work very hard to reduce expense. For them to do, each single item's actual expense seems to be visible. The last point, conversing with figures appearing on the financial statement. In Mr. Inamori's words, we must become a manager who can analyze the financial statement prepared by the accountant and hear the moans of stagnant earnings and hear the crying of own capital, for example. I personally believe that a company is a living creature. What do you mean? You might ask this question and you got puzzled and regard me as a crazy, but this is quite normal. Employees and managers are all deliver they all deliver their own energy to manage and operate the company. Because that energy brought by those people is converted into company's energy, grows and shrunk. Mr. Inamori considers the company as a living creature under the natural world because he has been converting the business administration to the high level of philosophy, its growth. In fact, he mentioned determining the price of the goods or services you are trying to sell. You should make a balance sheet and income statement approach, and listen to the voice of the figures and numbers. If you put all your efforts to listen to them, they will eventually start talking to you, at least demonstrate something to you. Let me explain a bit of my background. I started my career at Japan Real Estate Institute, country's largest, oldest real estate appraisal consulting firm. And I studied abroad. It was around 2004 to 2006, and came back, joined several of the CMBS lenders, and also got involved in a commercial banks when it comes to the real estate finance. Then I moved here in Okinawa, where I'm based. You can probably see the very beautiful virtual background. And I'm now independent and supporting many overseas clients for them to be successful in terms of their property or portfolio diversification. Thank you so much.